Hello, everyone. Tandikiriwan, the kitchen. I know I've been rather remiss in recording the Nakinyuguzi Chronicles, but unlike during the lockdown where I had quite a bit of time to have a chat every now and then, now I'm working, I'm back in the groove of things, and like I keep telling you, I'm part of a very beautiful project coming your way very soon. Anyways, so today's topic that I want to talk about is very simple. I know I always say to people that we need to be careful about the way we raise our children, and I want to reiterate that because recently I decided to take my children to Acacia Mall. You know, for parents that know taking 3 children to the mall is akin to a suicide mission. So anyways, before we went, I always, make sure that my children and I agree that every single one's going to pick up one present. I'll give them a meal, and budget. In this case, each child gets about 50,000 max. And they're allowed to choose whatever it is that sits within that budget and is age appropriate for them. So in this instance, we go to Acacia Mall, and I decide, okay, let's have a wander through, and everyone picks something. So tuli moro nga mwalangu mkulu say she wants to go to Mr. Price. So I say to her, I've got a business meeting. Let me meet business partner wange nga bwetuna amalawo. Then we'll go do whatever you need to do. So she's on about Mr. Price. Now what suddenly got me is I sit down with my business partner, we start to speak. Omwana wange omukulu nava nga aveeri nga atandika ku interrupting. Buli dakiika ttaano interrupting her. So I say to myself, okay, this is a bit strange. I didn't raise her like that. Now we're raising again a generation of children where despite what you've taught them at home, the environment outside also dictates the way that they respond to you in certain instances. So my daughter keeps popping up. She's making it really uncomfortable simply because she wants to go to Mr. Price. I thought to myself, keep your cool, don't shout at your child in public, because I don't want my behavior towards her to be the norm for her. So that in public for me, I'm very conscious about the way I treat them when they misbehave in public, because they need to know that, yes, whatever they've done is unacceptable, but only in the privacy of my own home do I discipline my children, because if I yell at them in public, they'll think that it's okay to yell at other people in public. So anyway, we go to Mr. Price. What really got me is she knew we had a budget, and then she proceeds to start picking out things that are within 100,000 sort of value mark. Me being the parent that I am, I told her now once I said that, because to me, if I tell you something, I tell you something. It's not your money. Abaana balina okuyiga nti buli kintu kyonna mbulamu bw'obanga tokikoleredde. You need to live within the boundaries of what your parents have set. So my child deciding that she wants something outside the budgetary restrictions that I'd put down on our way was rather shocking. But anyway, in this instance, she does. So I say no. As soon as we leave Mr. Price, she starts putting on an attitude. This little girl decides to act the fool. I'm looking at her and I'm watching her and I'm thinking, if you honestly think that the world owes you anything, even me as your parent, that I owe you your happiness by giving you material things, then I have failed you. I wasn't necessarily angry. I was rather shocked, and I'm thinking to myself, where did she get this attitude of thinking she is entitled to certain things that she hasn't worked for? So in my head, after that, we head to my mother's. Then I remember when I was growing up, the reason I had such a shocked attitude towards her was simply because when I was growing up, my father made sure that you understood it was a privilege for him to take you anywhere and spend his money on you. And when you misbehave, that privilege was taken away. There were no second chances. It wasn't child abuse, but he made sure that you understand that it was at his courtesy that you were given these things, that you necessarily weren't entitled to them. So as I watched my daughter throw a tantrum, I thought to myself, is it something that I have unwittingly cultivated? Nti abaana bange ntandise okubayigiriza nti nina okubawa era bwe sibawa omwana oyo is at liberty to show me her dissatisfaction with my generosity. Nengamba nti bannaye tubeere bantu kwegamba nga tuli kwegamba omwana yenna omutalekerawo obutatufuga, because my first instinct when she was upset was to actually get her the dress she wanted, and then I had to look within myself and say to myself, Nenda, because I'm not doing her any favors. If I'd gotten her that dress, she would have thought that that behavior was acceptable, that when someone doesn't give you, you're allowed to act out, which we've seen. And it's not the first time I've seen this sort of behavior. I'll just give you an example. I'm not sure if any one of you has sort of experienced this, where someone calls you, this new generation of youngsters, they'll call you and they'll say, auntie or cousin or sister, I need money for A, B, C, and D. Now, what they don't understand is what you call it, budget yo. Oba oyina gye ziraga kati omuntu bwakubira n'ekizibu, most of the time what do we say? We say to these people, we say to them, you know what, kandabe kye nsobola okukolera, and then start the phone calls and the text messages and the entitled, oh my God, you told me you're sending money, it's been 4 hours, ndi wano ninda, what do you think you're doing? If you're not going to send me money, let me know. Every single one of us that is in a position of responsibility or parenthood has received those messages, whether it be from a friend, a child, a niece, a nephew, but simply because we've cultivated a culture of entitlement, starting with our children and even going on to other people. Bannange tutandika okukyusa endowooza y'omuntu wa bulijjo ennaku zino. Olw'okuba nina tekitegeeza nti nina okuwa, kitandike n'abaana baffe that actually feel that because your parent is supposedly wealthy, that your parent has a bit of money, as people tell you, that you are entitled to that money. Bannange tukuze abaana baffe nga balina we bakoma, nga bategeera that as a parent, for a parent to sacrifice for you, for your happiness, that they are at liberty to do that or not to do it. We must remove the expectancy of children, friends, and family to be given. I honestly think that it starts with us parents. Okuza omwana. Ng'omwana is grateful for everything you give them, that they're respectful of the choices you make, that they're accepting of the things that you say no to. Kubanga abaana baffe katubakuzizza, omwana bw'otamuwa kintu ng'akunyiigira, omwana nga yeekalakasa tayogera, mu nnyumba yeeyisanga bw'ayagala, kaakati akutuusa ne ku level n'otandika okwetonda gwe nnyini ssente. Bannange tukwate mu baana baffe. Just saying no to your child will not damage them. I think it will create an individual that is grateful, that is courteous of everything that is given to them. And in so being, they'll be more empathetic and kinder to the next person. And they will know that bannange olw'okuba omuntu talina nti nedda olw'okuba omuntu alina talina kuwa kubanga yakuzaala oba akulinako oluganda oba mukwano gwo. Giving to someone is a gesture from within the heart, and we must respect that. Whether it be your child, teach them to respect that. Stop giving children and stop being apologetic when you say no to them. When you say no, so that we raise human beings that know that omuntu talina kuwa, that this world does not owe you anything at all. And then when someone gives you, be grateful. Honestly. Anyway, kakati, sina bingi. I'm going to go back to shoot, but it's been great catching up with you guys again. Muri mutya. Ense baitete. Nakinyuguzi munaye ensi tetugirinaako ttabu essaawa eno naye banaeka neeyongera okupakasa akuume atakuumira mpeera.